All right, folks, this is the Shop Setter Upper video. This is Jacob here at the Glass Academy, also known as the Gathering Point, streaming content daily, well, weekly, but you know. Anyway, this is a really audio tuned up, not tuned up, but honed in video on the setup of the shop. Take a listen, I'll explain you through it. There you got the hole getting fired up, that's number one. You gotta come into the shop an hour early. It takes about an hour for that to come up, an hour for the furnaces to come up, and about, depending on the oven, between a half hour and an hour for each unit oven to come up. And right here you're seeing this weekend's classes that were done. Students in-house learning how to blow glass, doing an amazing job. That is number one. We go to grab the pipes. You want to get those hot, get those going earlier in the setup. Those are organized in 4 different drawers: pipes, punnies, student pipes, and miscellaneous large and small pipes. And there's a really nice system to the way you line up your pipes in the preheating spot in the pipe heater. Depending on the heat of the pipe, it will alter the way you're either bringing over glass or working with the start of a piece, or really a million different things. Casting something onto the marver. The heat that you have is very important. Get those going. You always want to check the furnaces in the very beginning. Check the heights of them, turn them up, make sure they go from 2,000 to 2,150, and get that process going. Here's our cullet buckets. You want to empty these out pretty regularly. They'll obviously just fill up, and that's going to become a beautiful light blue recycled glass. When hot glass hits the concrete floor, it pops the concrete floor and puts a hole in it. So you always want to have the knockoff tray. We have 3 different torches, a small one, a large one, and then an extra large one. This is our medium-sized torch, which is pretty much used for anything that we may need. I guess there's actually 4. We have a small MAP gas handheld one as well. There it is. You light up the pilot. You always want to check the torch, the flame, right there, and make sure that you're ready to go. If you go through the first piece and it's not dialed in, you're in that perfect moment to use the torch, light it up, and it fizzles out on you. That's super not cool. Go over to our tool rack. You know, we've got 4 style of the exact same shear, a large and a small. There's a lot of backstock tools as well, and tools I have for the Renaissance Festival, for our mobile unit. These are our favorite tools. These are the ones we use on the daily. It's our favorite pair of diamonds, favorite pair of shears. Got to get a pair of tweezers and a pair of jacks. You have the GA stamp, and then finally, 90% of products you use the Taglia, our big metal paddle, for the hot glass as well. Boom. Once you get those tools out on the bench, you want to make sure that you clean the tools almost every day. And basically that extra 2 minutes to clean the tool may save you a product that you've spent 20 minutes on. You go for the final move and your tool's not clean, you're not prepared for that moment that you need to use it. There could be treachery. So I'll take a gather here, cool the pipe down a little bit. And just using hot glass will burn off any foreign materials, particularly wax on the tools that you don't want wax on. But you also want to use this for heating up tools that you do want to put wax on. So you pretty much go through the whole bench. It's a nice opportunity to manipulate the glass, play with the texture of it, experiment around a little bit, and just get things going in the morning. This is all reclaimed glass we're using here for this process, so it's already had a second life, and it will probably have a third as well. If you guys have been following us for a while now, I'd like to mention this is show number 100 here. So this is experimental show number 100. We've got plans for the new year. We've got some really cool ideas coming up. Stick with us as we continue to create content, but we'll keep you updated on that. Experimental shows may or may not be involved in that. We want to decide coming up here around Christmas time what the plan is moving forward. We've got those sheep to finish. We got many other ideas we need to document and produce. So just stay tuned for a lot of good action coming up. Once everything that's hot is getting hot, you can take it over to the color cabinet. And you gotta decide what the colors are for the day, what product we're making, and get them out in the tray lined up nice and neat. You don't want to be breathing in deep when you're pouring color like that. That's glass dust. You're always exhaling. We've got labels written on each of the trays about that hazard. And just important, just like many other things, you got to pay attention to what's going on in that moment. When the frit's being poured, you're breathing out, you're moving on to the next step. Here we got the molds, the optic molds, picking and choosing what you may want to use. Sometimes they're not really in the way, so it's better to just get a beautiful array of options for the day, depending on the product. We've got our go-tos, we've got our rare ones. If you guys have seen the show before, comment which you think is the rarest of all those three molds for us to use. Get the fans going, whether it's wintertime or summertime, you're probably going to want some fan action. And then depending on what happened the day before, a couple days before, if you got a little extra time in the morning, we go to unload an annealer, bring the cart around, double check what you got going on in the shop, and you can pull out and organize anything from classes this previous weekend. That one's hot, that one's ready to go. We got an array of blocks back here too. It's they gotta be soaked in water. They're all cherry wood, otherwise they dry out and they warp and they crack and they burn a lot easier. So you want to pick a few different ones based on what we're making the day of. And we rotate them through. Some of them get burned out. You gotta send some into the dumpster every time. But we get those lined up. I knew the guys were coming in to work on that bench, so I was able to bring them over the blocks they needed for what they were working on today. We had some pumpkins to make today. We're making pumpkins year-round. It's a very hot seller for most glass shops. This is our fluffer torch, and this is a necessary one to iridize the color at the very end of the process. All right, Thank you guys very much for checking it out. You guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, share the love, spread the feed around to your friends and family. We're a small family business, and we're doing everything we can, and we're having a blast while we're doing it, folks. Making art every day. Thank you very much. Have a beautiful, beautiful holiday season.